I have decided to start a life-changing journey. I want to learn how to access my psychic and clairvoyant abilities because I believe every single one of us has this ability. It's not only a select few that were born with this supernatural talent. I believe we can all do it. We just have to learn how to use our brain combined with using our consciousness to be able to access the vitally important puzzle piece of who we are, how we relate to the bigger picture, gaining access about our ancient history, and being able to build a bridge between your conscious and your subconscious and develop a conversation, learn the language of those unseen parts of you. And I tell you what I have been learning so far, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, it has literally blown my mind wide open. And I feel like I've stepped off the precipice and there's no going back. I am changed for good. And I want to take you with me. I want to show you how I'm doing it, and we can make the discoveries together. So let's get into it. And the method I decided to start with on this journey is something called remote viewing. Remote viewing originally gained attention during the Cold War, when reports started circulating that the Soviet Union was experimenting with psychic espionage, aka psychic spies. In response, the United States decided to investigate whether the human mind could be trained to perceive information at a distance. In 1977, the CIA officially launched a program known as Project Stargate. Here, they put together a team of people, including a well-known psychic of the time, Ingo Swann. Together, they worked out a way of developing practical tools to take regular soldiers and teach them how to use their psychic senses in a structured, verifiable protocol. And this technique became known as remote viewing. So at its core, what remote viewing is really great for is it gives us practical tools about how to quieten our analytical mind long enough to allow the more subtle and quieter sensations and information from our subconscious. So then we can receive the data that we didn't even realize we had access to. And my incredibly talented mentor on this amazing journey is a woman that goes by the name of Birdie Jaworski. And she is a really famous name in the remote viewing scene for very good reason. Birdie's background spans a rare intersection of disciplines. She has a master's degree in digital forensics and writing. She was also the former vice president of the Farside Institute. She's been known to work with the Federal Police Department to find missing people and solve homicide cases. Birdie has been fine-tuning and developing her own techniques for over 22 years. That would be an astounding 8,000 days and around 20,000 hours of direct experience using her own technique called TransDimensional Mapping. Unlike traditional remote viewing, which she felt could often end up disqualifying and denying a whole section of our intuitive process, her method, TDM, allows for a detailed, interactive, and creative mapping of our subconscious experience. But the thing that drew me to Birdie the most is the fact that this woman had to overcome so many hurdles in order to stand where she is today. And like the famous saying goes,
well-behaved women rarely make history.
And this is definitely the case for Birdie. She is a rebellious, badass woman with a golden heart. So, for example, back in the 90s, when the remote viewing first came out of the military, Birdie was one of the very few women who dared to step into that male-dominated environment where there was very militaristic rules and regulations and do's and don'ts. And she went in there regardless because she knew she not only wanted to learn remote viewing, there was a deeper calling. She knew she had to learn this. And then also in her outside everyday world, I mean, this world really can judge people who dedicate their life to learning things on the unseen realm and things that people don't really understand. They can really point the finger and say, you're crazy, or this is the devil's work. And she had to overcome all of these things within the community and outside of her community. She even popped up on the radar of national security when she predicted the attack on Twin Towers in September 11. They proceeded to threaten herself and her family with intimidation tactics to stop her gaining information from her transdimensional mapping. And did that stop her? Hell no. What she had to do was go underground. She disappeared from the internet, from the community. Everyone thought she had given it up. But behind closed doors, she got up and went to her desk every single day with even more determination to learn her craft and to seek her truth. And now she's back. Bigger, better, bolder, stronger than ever. Okay, now that you've got the background, let's get into how do we do it. So on Birdie's website, she's got a page called Experience This, and there is a list of numbers. You choose a number you want to look at, but you don't click on it. We go into this blind. So all you use is the numbers that are assigned to the picture. And those numbers are like a doorway for you to be able to access all of the information that describes what is in the picture. Now that we've got our number, we write it at the top of our page, and then we do a little intuitive scribble on the page, just a really quick whoosh. And this is our ideogram. And then we, at a reasonably fast pace, we write down as much information as coming in that's of textures or smells or feelings, sensations. Maybe you're hearing something. Basically, any information that comes through. The reason why we try to do this at a rapid pace is if we stop to think, that's when our analytical, logical mind comes in and blocks you from receiving the data. So once you've started the flow of words coming out on the page, then it's time to start drawing shapes and things that you perhaps little visions or images that might pop up. I am a very visual transdimensional mapper, so I do see figures and shapes. And it's so interesting because it's almost like you're playing a game of charades with your subconscious. Your subconscious is going to try to give you the information. So it's the one who's acting out the movie and trying to describe it without using words. And you've got to try and guess what it is. And your subconscious does this by using metaphors and comparisons and signals and whatever it can to try and give you the data. And then when you think you've received all of the information you need, and it's the end of the session, you can go back to the website, you click on the number, and then the photo will be revealed. And what is really important at this point is to try to remember to not make comparisons and try to be 100% identical to the picture. because remote viewing is about learning the language of your subconscious. And your subconscious gives you metaphors and comparisons and gives you almost like a poetic meaning. So it's about deconstruction. You go through and you look at your drawings and you see how it compares to what is happening at the event in the picture. Through this experience, I've come to learn that accessing these abilities is kind of like learning how to tie your shoelaces or ride a bike or learn a new language. And so in the beginning, you're not going to be very good, which is hard because with these kinds of abilities and topics, we always need to have proof and facts. And if we don't have it, then we think it doesn't exist and it's not real. But let me tell you, this is real. For example, look at Birdie, who's done over 1,000 hours of mapping, and she has an extraordinary skill and ability to get to describe the experience that she's looking at in such beautiful, complex, layered ways. And so you've got to remind yourself, it is real, it does work, but you've just got to learn it. And if you are interested in doing any of Birdie's workshops, check the description below. All the links are there, and I highly recommend going over to her YouTube channel. She's got a free seminar there called You Can Map Too. Embarking on this journey has changed my life in ways I never expected and pulled me into places I never thought possible. I have been pulled into ancient history, hidden treasures, adoption stories, stolen babies, connecting with people across time and continents. This has been such an incredible adventure, and this is just the beginning. And if you want to stay with me on this journey, then make sure you do not miss the next episode. It is wild.